Hi angels, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to be looking into your villain story and how you're going to be channeling that next. So please subscribe, like and comment. Check the description if you'd like to book anything. So we have pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3. Okay, pile 1, this is your card. So we're going to be taking a look into your villain story. So you are the 5 of Pentacles actually. So I feel like when it comes to your villain story, it is really about you now channeling this very sacred intellect within yourself. Okay, it feels like you are really tapping into your potential. Now I'm closing my eyes a lot because I truly just feel like this is where you are going to feel at home. Okay, this is where you're going to be channeling so much good energy just by focusing on yourself. And a part of navigating this new villain era that you're in, it is really about you tapping into your own focus. Yeah, I feel as though there is this energy where people have really doubted you, or in the past, like you have been in such lack in your life that it's been really hard for you to see anything other than what your circumstances, so if you grew up in a lot of poverty or with a lot of people that like walked away from you, it has been really hard for you to channel anything but that, right? It has always been about, having to get yourself off the ground or having to make things work because you need to make ends meet. Some of you, like, career is a big focus, money is a big focus, but for others of you it's really about you finding your own sacred sense within self. Okay, so I feel like this villain era really requires you to release a lot of pains, a lot of oppression around abandonment, around feeling left out in the cold. And you know what I feel like is really coming up in this villain era for you? It's really about you feeling like neglected away from your feelings. So the things that are really hurting you beneath the surface are going to need to be released, babe. Okay, for you to start having more faith. But I feel like on a personal level, it's about you understanding your power and who you are. It is not about anyone else. It's not about what is right and wrong. And you know what, I really wanted to start your video again because I feel like my words just weren't coming out. But you know what, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna put this video out. If it makes it out, it makes it out. And you know what's funny, it says insecure here and I feel insecure in the camera. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, I feel a bit insecure. I feel a bit like, am I doing too much? Like, is my hair okay? Like, I feel a bit all over the place, and maybe you'll be able to see that. But I feel like it's about you, like, having that perception of yourself. And it's funny because the 5 of Pentacles means we're alone a lot of the times. We feel left out in the cold. But what are you going to do when you are put out in the cold? So there could be circumstances coming up in your villain story where you've been thrown out of places, or people have really neglected you, groups of people, family, okay, parents, relationships. They have left you out in the cold to fend for yourself. And you're really learning this agility, this comprehension for who you are, understanding for your journey. And it takes a lot. And you know what I'm seeing in my vision? A monk. I'm seeing a monk in my vision. And it's reminding me of, like, how like monks, they have to go on this like meditative journey of finding themselves, of like having to really be isolated from a lot of people. Monks aren't just like with their phones texting 24/7. They're focusing on themselves, knowledge, power, how you really sit with yourself. You may even be called to, like, on a physical level, go and work out, start the gym. You know how people just like in the gym, they're really on their business, they're just minding themselves, they're getting their workout in. This is what it feels like, but for your life, for your money, whatever it is that you want. Okay, your villain story requires you to be who you are. to be who you are and nothing else. And you know what? I'm going to do something very different, which, you know me and my videos, I always like to tap into the energy. I always like to do like really long videos to give you in depth. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to channel this card and give you a quick little message, because I feel like you are enough and you need to see that within yourself, and I need to see it within myself as well. Okay, but there is something around your eyes being blinded which is very significant. You can't always see your money, you can't always see people around you, but what you have up here is what is important. Okay, how you connect with who you are. So if you are feeling insecure, you need to go and spend some time, some real sacred time alone, whether it's off your phone, whether it's, you know, even just cutting yourself off from people for a few days. Obviously do that in hindsight, and like, don't worry people, right, that don't need to be worried, but you know, like, you need to go and concentrate on yourself. And some of you, it's studies, it's getting back into school. I know a lot of people started school already. It's like getting yourself back into a place where you feel happy. And it's gonna feel like, okay, I can't use social media for a little bit, I can't do what I love for a little bit, but I need to take this time to isolate myself, because that is where great things are gonna happen for me. When I just spend some time focusing on self, I'm here for it. I love and appreciate you, Pile 1. I hope that was helpful. Okay, Pile 2, you are the villain card. Now, if you know my reading style, you know I like to channel the cards. I like to do a bit of a in-depth video. I'm not going to do that today. I was going to, but in Pile 1, I realized I don't need to be doing too much. Sometimes the message is just one card. So that is what I'm going to do, okay? We are going to just channel this one card. So I feel like your villain energy right now, Angel, is really you like shedding a lot of pain that is kept within you, okay? Notice the tears around the eyes, okay? The hatred, the anger. I feel like a part of you navigating this next villain type energy is you really needing to master who you are and the energy of self. You need to firstly get control over your emotions. Now I'm actually seeing the Emperor card, so this, I don't know why I'm hearing like narcissist as well. I don't know if you're surrounded by a lot of narcissism or a lot of people that like to take their shit and put it onto you. They like to make it a you problem when it's not. They don't take accountability for their actions. They continuously just see what is like wrong within you, but never themselves, okay? And I'm actually seeing you standing there. I don't know if you're a witch or you practice witchcraft, but I'm seeing a candle, okay? And it feels like you're standing there with a candle, with a flowy dress, and you're just witnessing this person with a lot of anger. And I actually feel like a part of this villain energy is you realizing who you are and who you are when there is trauma, when you are mirroring other people. Because let me let you into some tea here. The energy and the anger that you're mirroring and that you're carrying is not even yours. It is that person's, or it's the people that have hurt you. It is their anger, their narcissism. Now, I'm not being delusional here and saying that you don't have shit to work through, because look, there were so many times in my life when I was in connections and I was also playing the villain. I was also like really wrong in my decisions, and like I put shit onto other people because I was hurt as well. It goes both ways. We have to look within ourselves. But I feel like a part of your energy is one, healing that shit and truly getting to the root of problems so you can take back your power, stand in your power and be who you want to be. But it's also realizing, okay, am I just carrying this person's shit? Am I not putting up boundaries? Am I not speaking up to people around me when I feel hurt? Am I keeping it trapped inside and then saying, you know what, I'm going to do a little spell? Which is nothing wrong with that, okay? I fully support the spell work. But there is just something around the way that you start to lead your life. You are a leader, Pile 2, and it is time for you to step into that energy to truly show off without any regrets, without anything holding you back. And I feel like you don't know your authentic energy, because a lot of your energy or who you've become has been off the back of what other people have done to you. So maybe you're an introvert because other people made you an introvert. Does that make sense? So I feel like you have some discovering to do about yourself, but I just see this freedom rising within you. And it's like, it's not like a negative. It's not like I'm going to shit on these people. I mean, go off if that is what you want to do. Okay, I support that. But it doesn't feel like that, I'll be real. It feels more like, okay, I finally see my worth. I finally see that I'm successful. I see that I actually have interest in this and not this. You know, it feels like you're navigating your own energy without consequence, without doubt, without insecurity. It feels like you're just being who you need to be for yourself. I see makeup changing here, okay? The eyeliner is sticking out to me. But it's like, I'm not living because of the things that you've put me through. I'm going to own that trauma. I'm even going to own my own karma. But one thing I'm not going to do is live the rest of my life wasting time on you. That is your villain energy, and it's about you navigating these little things like boundaries, like what you like, dislike. It's little things that you need to work out within yourself and maybe mirrored around you. But once you get into the groove of who you are, once you start to explore your body, start to explore your sense of style, and even like who you are within, once you start to unlock secrets within yourself, I'm seeing like you know those diaries that you would lock up, what are they called? Damn. But you'll know if you know, right? I'm seeing like someone discover old diaries, old notebooks, or you discover something, could be when you were a child or something in the past that you kept away, but it's like you're looking back at something, or you're discovering something, you're unlocking something of the past, and it's like, okay, I'm ready to bring my inner child to this place. I'm ready to bring my inner teen to a place of healing, you know? I'm ready to just channel who the fuck I am. But it's everything about you empowering yourself without these negative emotions, right? It's without the doubt. Again, it's without like just feeling pressured, you know? It is truly freeing. Now, some of you, I do, for a small portion, sense revenge here, okay? There is something important around justice and revenge for you. Now, if you've dealt with trauma, specifically around other people, you know what has been coming up a lot lately, which may not be anything to do with you necessarily, but you could notice signs as well. But it feels like I've seen a lot of people talk about like people doing spell work or trying to get justice for those who went through things by files, right? I'm not going to say the word, obviously. Or like people who have been a bit grapey and a bit weird, right? Weird vibes. It feels like people are getting justice for things, and there is going to be a lot of role models coming up. I randomly just thought of Paris Hilton then. I know that she did stand up for things like this, so either you have a direct correlation to that, meaning like there is something that you need to get justice for, whether it's through spell work, whether it's through legal, or like, you know, just getting your lick back, okay? There is something around that as well, but I feel like you do need to do a bit of shadow work before you step into that role. It feels like you need to be ready to take on that shit, if that makes sense. But I feel like there is a lot about like truly rising in who you are, and like making sense of what things mean to you, okay? Like in terms of like karma. Maybe some of you are even going to get to the root of what revenge means to you. Now, the last thing I want to say is I definitely feel like mirror magic. There's something about looking at your eyes, gazing into your eyes. Some of you it's stargazing, some of you it's cloud gazing, but I definitely feel you're looking into the mirror, and you're looking into your left eye to receive that energy. You're looking, and you look different, okay? Your transformation of being a villain is going to make you look different. So you, again, you could lose weight here, you could, you know, just like love yourself when you look in the mirror, but something is going to change around your perception and about the way that you see yourself. It's like you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, I've actually grown into who I am. I'm more confident, I'm more wise, okay? That things like that are coming up. I love and appreciate you. I hope that was helpful. Okay, Pearl 3. This is your card. So I said this for Pearl 1 and I had this realization in Pearl 1, but you know me, if you watch my videos, I always like to channel a bunch of cards and give an in-depth reading, but I realized during Pearl 1, I actually don't want to do that today. I'm not going to make myself work harder than I need to. The message can just be one card. So we're literally just going to channel this card and I'm going to tell you about your villain era. So firstly, this is the Five of Swords, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm the worst. Okay. So I feel like, firstly, I channel someone that likes to apologize a lot. Now, I sense for some of you, it's the past version of you. Others, there could be something that you still do that oppresses to other people or still lives according to other people. But I feel like I see like someone who apologizes a lot or used to, like, damn, I'm sorry, or like an inner child, or like someone that feels very skittish. So I don't know if you were a very shy child or you grew up witnessing a lot of conflict, so it caused you to be quiet. I actually see someone with like speech impediment here, or like, I don't know if your voice didn't develop, something along the lines of like a child that suffered, okay? But it may not be in such a obvious way. Again, it's like you didn't get to speak or you were silent for the first few years, right? Your teeth didn't grow in. It's something where I feel like it almost feels like your voice or your spirit was delayed a little bit, okay? It felt like you were observing a lot, because I'm seeing someone that's really shy or that would cry when they saw a lot of conflict. You definitely are some sort of an empath here. You feel very deeply, absolutely. I don't know if there was trauma as well when you were a child. I'm not going to get into that because I feel like, I don't know if you, when you were younger, or like there's something around the way that you just grew up, but it feels very emotional to tap into that energy, okay? It feels like I would literally start bawling, like I'm seeing like tears in the eyes. So I don't know if this means something to you now. It's the conflict that you have now with people, but it's like it feels like you tear up when things are mentioned or when you think about things. It's like this mourning. It's like this mourning of you having to relive things. And I'm seeing repressed trauma that you don't, like, you don't even remember bits and pieces here. Because, and you know what's funny, I always look at what's mirroring me. Now I always say, like, I rewatch a bunch of shows. I've watched Pretty Little Liars a bunch of times, okay, over and over again, but I'm rewatching it and I'm at the part actually where, if you've watched it you'll know. If you haven't, this will make no sense. But there's a part where this girl Emily, she is going, I can't remember what it's called, but it's almost like she goes to see like the therapist and they relive the trauma. She puts her in a hypnotic state to like try and process and see what she sees, what she feels, to help her remember bits or help her process. And she ends up remembering something that she did or something that happened to her. So I feel like there is something here where there is like trauma coming up, or there is like something where like you don't even remember, or you didn't witness that thing as trauma. It was just like a normal childhood to you, but something is coming up and you're remembering it, or it's becoming prominent in your mind, okay? And it's maybe coming through some sort of conflict or trauma. I feel like you're really tired of being let down, and there is something around this villain era for you is really bringing out this unapologetic energy. It's bringing out truth, and you're no longer living according to things that happen in your life. And it feels like, I'm seeing in my vision, the road is coming to an end for you. And it's like you've been walking along this path and this road, like trying to live life, trying to get to your goals, but you're going to realize as soon as you get to the end of this path, damn, like I have been living my life based on the way I experienced trauma. And it could be like a routine thing. It could be like you don't speak up because you want to avoid conflict. It could be in career, like you really oppress yourself because you don't want recognition, because when you were younger you hated recognition because it always became negative recognition for you. You know, it's things like that. Like, you know, like sometimes we eat different to other people. I don't know if you've ever been like, especially me, like I didn't realize how much I actually grew up in a lack mindset until I looked at the way I was eating, until I looked at the way I'd behave around food, or when it came to receiving, whether it was gifts, affirmations, like people showing me support. Like, you know how like you just close up, or like you do things because that was normal in your childhood. There is something around like you're ending that. You're ending these little things that aren't serving you, right? And it's like you're waking up, and I'm seeing like this zombie like state. It's like you grew up in this zombie like mindset that just didn't serve you, or it limited you, you know? And I feel like this villain era is truly you breaking free. Now I'm seeing like a wall of mirrors, kind of like in Twilight, if you've seen Twilight, like the ballet room, and it's like they're all shattering one by one. And it's like all there is you left standing in the room. And I truly just feel like it's like you're almost having like, I hate to say this, but like a Taylor Swift moment. You know that Taylor Swift cake? It was a Taylor Swift cake, right? Where like you put the knife in it and like blood oozes out. That was her, right? That was trending. Like I'm seeing like you're having a bit of that moment with the cake, right? Or it's like you're kind of like waking up to a person. You're waking up to attributes and characteristics that you no longer see working for you. Wow, I feel like you're no longer seeing things work for you. It's like you're having this like realization. It's like, I don't want to do this job anymore, or I don't want to do things this way. I want to break free. I want to be happy. I don't want to be around people. And you know what's funny? For some of you, it could relate, where it's like, I see someone who has like everything perfect, even, you know, perfect relationship, or you are just about to move on to the next level, but you're realizing, I don't want this for me. Like, this isn't right. And it's not like about evil eye. Some of you, maybe there is a bit of evil eye around you. But that's not what I feel. It feels like you're having a different like outlook on things, and people are looking at you like, damn, you're crazy. You literally have everything that you want, or you could have everything that you want, but you're being stubborn. You're being like a problem. Like, you may even have like friendships turn on you in this villain era. This next phase of being the villain means you choosing yourself. And you are realizing, I don't know who I'm channeling here, but I don't know, I'm not saying you're rich, but maybe you could be, I don't know. I don't want to put that out there. I mean, you are for manifesting, but it just feels like you have something together, whether it's school, work, I don't know. But it's like you're having this almost like, it's funny, midlife crisis. You may not even be midlife, but it's like you're just like, no, that's not important. Like, I could have all the money in the world, but you know what's important to me is my inner child. And I think that you lived a very long time oppressing your inner child and the pain and the suffering that you went through, and it's all of a sudden catching up to you. And I feel like you're realizing, you know what, like, that is not true happiness. I'm not around happy people. I'm not around friendships that align with me, or relationships that align with me, right? I'm not around like people who support me. Like, I want to feel secure in my relationship. I want to feel secure with people, okay? And I feel like this is your villain era. It is like having this conflicting moment. But you know what? I'm seeing crows like release from the swords. It's like it's truly gonna free you long term. And it's the risk that you have to take here. But you know what? It's gonna lead you to something amazing. I love and appreciate you. I hope that was helpful.